And I'm 85% present, 15% future, and 0% past. I try to run a no emergency business, a no crisis business. Doesn't always happen, but that's the goal. The problem with the phone number is people call you. I became obsessed with it. It had to happen.
So what's your opinion on like focusing intensely? Because like I watched this video from Alex Becker like last week, and it's actually helped a lot. Like basically he talks about like there's so many distractions nowadays, you just remove them completely and really like focus in on what you're doing in that moment. And I've found I've like gotten like triple the amount done. So then he also talks about like FOMO is good. So like if I get invited places or doing this and then saying the word no, and then like you kind of feel that like I'm missing out on things. He says if you're feeling the FOMO, that's good. But like, how do you balance that? And like, is that true in your opinion?
I like being hyper-focused. So I had a guy ask me here not that long ago, how much time do you spend living in like past, present, future? And I'm 85% present, 15% future, and 0% past. Right now I'm with you guys. That's it. What am I doing next? Huh? I think I'm meeting him. Are we meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. That's what I'm doing next. Right? I don't even know what time it is. What's happened tomorrow? No idea. Right? Like it's in my calendar, but I'm just here with you answering this question. That's it. Now, I have a really hard time switching tasks. Everybody does. Task switching is brutal, right? Like you load up your phone and you see a notification. It's hard to go back to what you're doing. For me, it's especially hard. So especially around creative work, like when I'm writing my book, I need the whole day open to work on my book. Having something else happen, meeting this guy for 45 minutes will destroy my whole book writing process, right? Even though he'll bring love and energy and everything else, like, bless you, I'll be out of my flow. Yeah, hashtag belong, Alex. We love you, right? Or even just, so I don't have a phone number. That's super weird, Duck. Like, you can't call me. The problem with the phone number is people call you, right? Yeah. I don't want people to call me. So there's no notifications going off. There's no text messages coming in. There's no phone number coming in. I use Google. I make phone calls. So I use Google to make phone calls, but it comes in as a blocked number or restricted access. Even at the event, Brendan Burchard is like, hey, what's your number so we can stay in touch on text? I'm like, I don't use a cell phone number. Right? And we joked about me getting a number just for him, so he'd be like Batman, that if I ever needed something, I could text him. But otherwise, like, I don't have a number, and he doesn't like using email. This happens pretty frequently. Like, do you guys know Andy Frisella? He's in St. Louis, successful entrepreneur. Same thing, like DM me on Instagram, and he sent me this voice message and said, hey, I don't have a number to text you back, because he said, text me. I said, I do email. He messaged me back, saying, I don't do email. So I guess we'll just connect on Instagram, right? But it's being willing to lose out on some small balls because you're chasing the big ones. That's really what focus is. You're getting distracted by these little things, and you're worried that you're going to miss something. And so you can catch those little small balls, but then in the process of catching all the small balls, you never go for anything big. So you have to be comfortable losing some of the small balls because you're chasing down something big. Media is the biggest one that I miss out on a lot, because a reporter emails me and says, hey, I need your opinion on this by this deadline, like later today. I don't even see the email till the next day. I missed the deadline. Now they stop emailing me, right? Because I'm not fast enough for them. But the work that I'm creating in that moment is so much more important, right? At least it should be, if you are prioritizing your time. So I try to run a no emergency business, a no crisis business. Doesn't always happen, but that's the goal. Right, like Alex, we meet on Mondays usually to go over all the stuff for this business. And yesterday, was it yesterday? Tuesday? When did you come over? Tuesday is my YouTube day. Right. And he's like, hey, we didn't meet on Monday because I was away in Phoenix speaking. I was just coming back. So Tuesday he comes over. I got to film YouTube content. And he's like, hey, do you have some time today? We got to go over some stuff. I'm like, not really, man. Should I email you? Yeah, email me, right? Like, stuff gets delayed, but I need to get my videos out. So I'm very rigid on my days typically, right? So today has been all interviews, podcasts, hangouts, public-facing day. I put my extrovert hat on, and there's 5-minute breaks in between interviews that I'm doing, right? And then this, and then I'm going to meet Alex, and then that's my day, and then start up over again tomorrow. So.
What will be the event or something that comes up that will make you skip?
Two things. One where it's a planned skip, where Brendan Burchard says, hey, come to my event, right? Or I'm going to go do a bunch of stuff in LA in a week, 2 weeks? I don't know. So it's planned, so I know what's happening, so we'll work around it, right? Phoenix I knew was planned. Those ones are easier to work around because we know it. The key is, I didn't get to meet with Alex on Monday, but when I'm meeting Alex, I'm only with Alex. So normally when we meet on a Monday, it's like, okay, what do you got? You got this time. I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm not answering my phone. I'm just talking to you. How can I help? And so because I build up the equity in being with them at that time, then you get forgiveness for missing out on future ones, right? The unplanned ones are a little bit harder, where I'm a big idea to action guy. So when I get an idea, I got to do something, right? And sometimes it really works out. Even the genesis of the Top 10 series came because a friend of mine, Mark, who we do a podcast together now, was hating on Kanye West. And so I needed, the first Top 10 is Kanye West, just to show it to my friend Mark. Like, watch this, Mark. You're going to learn from him, right? It was never supposed to be a giant thing. I just made it because I was upset at my friend Mark, and I threw away my whole day to work on this one video that had to go up on my channel, right? It wasn't part of my content strategy 5 years ago, wherever I made it, right? But most of those things don't necessarily go somewhere. It's just I have to birth it into existence, right? So here's one that didn't work. I had in part of my morning routine, one of the songs I had was Shania Twain, No One Needs to Know. And I put it on my IG stories. Here it is. No one needs to know. I'm bouncing to it, and nobody knew what the song was. People were DMing me, say, "What's that song?" And then I asked some people around me, like, "Hey, do you know the song?" And nobody knew what that song was. And it bothered me that nobody knew "No One Needs to Know" by Shania Twain. And it became my mission for the day that everybody would have to know about this song. So we did Shania Twain Dance Challenge. I threw away my entire day, and I start DMing people to say, "Hey, put this song on and dance to it, and post it in your IG stories and share it, and I'll share it too." And so my whole day became about DMing people, right? I DM'd this guy. He's at the hospital because his mom was in a hospital, but wasn't super serious. Was it super serious? Oh, was it? I don't remember. I don't look backwards. Anyway, he's at the hospital. It's super serious with his mom. I'm like, "Alex, I need you to do Shania Twain Dance Challenge." He's like, "What?" "I'm at the hospital." "Dude, figure it out. While your mom's sleeping, Shania Twain Dance Challenge, you have to do this." And so he ended up asking, doctors and nurses, how many people?
8 people, security guards asked to join me in the dance.
To dance with him to this song.
Yeah.
And he finally found this person outside that they did salsa to, even though it's not a salsa song, Shania Twain Dance Challenge. And so that was my entire day. It was just DMing people and applying pressure, right? Probably the hardest on Alex. But I also expect the most from the people on my team to step up when I need them, right? And I need people for my Shania Twain Dance Challenge.
I'm used to it.
Yeah, anyway, so we put it together. The whole day was just about that. And then we turned it into a YouTube video, put it on the channel, but it never blew up. You guys don't know the story, you don't know the song, because it got a couple thousand views or something. It wasn't a good time investment. But I became obsessed with it. It had to happen. So I threw away whatever I was doing that day to go and make sure that thing happened. And then people write to say, "Well, when's the next dance challenge?" That's it. This is not a thing. I just got upset that no one knew this one Shania Twain song, and so we had to make it happen, right? So now that doesn't happen every day where I'm super scatterbrained all over the place, but I'm also a big idea to action kind of guy where if I get an idea and I'm feeling it, I have to birth it into existence. How do you deal with distractions? You get distracted a lot.
So a couple of things have been actually useful. So right now, with the phones that we have, there's a way that you can actually lock your phone. Not even phone calls, nothing goes through, and it's not airplane mode. You shut it down, and you can't even turn off your phone. So OnePlus has this, I think.
It's the power button? What?
It's not the power button. No. What it does
You can't even turn on the phone.
It in the background, but you can't even turn off your phone. So it just locks it out. And it's like 20 minutes of, like, think of it as meditation. So you lock the phone out. And so sometimes when I'm just too distracted, I'll lock myself out of it. And it's funny, it's like I'll be working, without realizing 4 minutes into work, I reach for my phone, I'm like, oh, 60 more minutes. Okay, put it down, go back to work. So that's helped me a lot. Scheduling does actually help me a lot. So I'll say like half an hour for this, I have to stick with it no matter what. Even if I'm not being productive, like I'll stare like at an empty document and just stare at it for 20 minutes. Just like, I have to do it, I have to do it. For me, I'm compulsively, like short attention span. But the scheduling helps me, turning off my phone helps me, definitely. Also just telling my loved ones, like my mom, I love my mom very much, but I tell her, I'm like, don't call me at this time. Like if you do, it better be an emergency. And so like 2 days ago, she called me when she wasn't supposed to. And I was like, what? And she's like, how do I get into my email? And
It's an emergency.
I'm embarrassed, but I hung up on my mom. I just hung up on her, and I called back. I'm like, I'm sorry, I overreacted. But we talked about this. I'm like, because if she calls me at the time when I'm supposed to be doing something, then it's like she's in the hospital. It's like no matter what's happening, none of this matters because my mom is important. And same thing with my brother. So telling your loved ones or the people that reach you most, be like, this is the schedule and I need your help. Talking about a trigger, it also helps because they support you on the thing that you need most. Which is focus and obsession.
Also the people on your team,
Yeah.
right? So as you scale, we got 24 people on my team right now. Even today, one of the guys who's been with me for a couple of years, my team knows that if it's within 24 hours, email me. Because every day at 7 a.m. my emails come in, and then over the course of that day, I'll check my emails. I don't have a set time for checking my emails. It's when I have time. It's in the elevator, it's walking the stairs, whatever. It's when I'm sending back emails. Otherwise, you can reach me on my Google Hangouts. Like the fastest way for Alex to reach me would be Google Hangouts because I have it open all day, so I get a notification. So today, one of the guys on my team who never does this messaged me to give me an update on something. We had, I don't know if you guys know Gopal Das. He's like this monk who's a couple million followers, great ideas. So he joined my IG Live today. Was just leaving comments in the chat, and a guy on my team, Luca, said, "Hey, we should DM him to say, hey, come on the show, because Luca's been trying to get him to come on my show." Says, "Evan, can you DM him?" So I messaged him to say, "Great idea, no problem, I'll do it, but this is also not. This isn't a Hangouts emergency, right? Like you could have emailed. I know you're excited, it's awesome, but I'm working on stuff today, right? I'm doing interviews, so." Next time email me. He's like, yeah, you're right, I just got too excited. So training people how you want to be treated and creating the boundaries for yourself, super important.
If you have a podcast or interview show and want me to be a guest on it, I have two options for you. There's a link right there next to me. Go click it, and I look forward to being a guest on your show.